the universe is a mirror. But what if I told you that mirror is alive, that it speaks, that every event in your life, every emotion, every thought is not random, but a perfect reflection of something far deeper, far older, and far more powerful than you've ever been told? There is an ancient law, whispered in temples, hidden in scrolls, buried beneath layers of time, that reveals this secret. The Law of Correspondence. It is the key that unlocks the hidden architecture of reality, the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the truth behind why certain patterns repeat in your life, why you feel what you feel, and why nothing, absolutely nothing, is truly separate. But here's the twist. This law has been misunderstood for centuries, oversimplified, dismissed, even feared, not because it's false, but because it's dangerously true. In this video, we'll journey into the depths of this ancient principle, exploring its forgotten roots, unveiling its real meaning, and discovering how it can shift not only your perspective, but the very world around you. Are you ready to see beyond the veil, to finally understand the law that governs the invisible threads of existence? Then listen closely. What's above is not just like what's below. It is what's below. Say the word, and we'll continue into the hidden history behind this cosmic law. Long before modern science, before organized religion, before even written language, there were those who knew. They didn't just observe the world, they read it like a living scroll. To them, the stars were not just lights in the sky, and rivers were not just water. Every form, every movement, every echo in nature was a message, a reflection of something beyond form. The law of correspondence was one of the sacred principles held in the mystery schools of ancient Egypt. Known as Hetep, the balance of harmony, the priests of Heliopolis spoke of a divine symmetry woven through all of creation. It was later recorded in the Kabbalion, a Hermetic text said to preserve the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, the mythical sage who was called thrice great, the master of alchemy, astrology, and theurgy. His teachings whisper, as above, so below, as within, so without. Not poetry, not metaphor, a formula, a secret blueprint of reality. The ancient Greeks adopted this teaching into their own philosophy. Plato hinted at it through his theory of forms, the idea that every object in our world is merely a shadow of a higher, perfect version existing on another plane. The Stoics believed in the Logos, the divine order imprinted into every layer of the cosmos. The Gnostics, persecuted and nearly erased, taught that the material world is a reflection of spiritual truth, though often distorted by ignorance. Even in the East, we find echoes of this law. In Vedantic philosophy, the microcosm, Pinda, and the macrocosm, Brahmanda, are reflections of each other. The Upanishads say, Yatha Pinda Tatatha Brahmanda. As is the atom, so is the universe. Why then has this knowledge faded into obscurity? Because the law of correspondence doesn't just explain how the world works, it gives you power over it. It dissolves the illusion of separation. And when you realize that your mind, your emotions, your inner state are not isolated, but actively shaping and reflecting the outer world, the control systems of society begin to crack. So over Hermetic, this law was shrouded in allegory. It became myth, metaphor, superstition, hidden behind symbols, encoded in architecture, veiled in scripture. But those who have eyes to see always knew. The alchemists, the mystics, the sages of every age use this law to bend reality, to heal, to awaken. Now, it returns to you. If you're ready, we'll now begin to unravel the true meaning behind this law, beyond the quotes and cliches, to understand how it truly works and how it has always been working in your life. Let us now step into the heart of the mystery. The law of correspondence tells us, as above, so below, as within, so without. But what does this truly mean? On the surface, it sounds poetic, almost too simple, but simplicity can be deceptive. Because behind these few words lies a truth that can shift your entire perception of reality. At its core, this law reveals a cosmic symmetry, that everything in the universe, no matter how large or small, is made from the same divine pattern. The structure of galaxies mirrors the spiral of seashells. The branching of trees mimics the veins in your body. The atom reflects the solar system. And it goes deeper than shape. It speaks to energy, to behavior, to consciousness itself. Take your emotions. When your inner world is chaotic, what happens around you? Miscommunication, accidents, tension. But when you're clear, calm, aligned, you attract peace, synchronicity, flow. Coincidence? No. Correspondence. Imagine your mind as a tuning fork. Whatever frequency you hold within, the outer world must echo back, not always in obvious ways, but always in some way. You've felt this. Walk into a room with a heavy heart, and the air feels colder. Try forcing things from a place of fear, and nothing seems to move, but act from clarity and truth, and doors open, people respond, the right moment finds you. This isn't magic, it's law. Just as the moon pulls the tides, the unseen currents of your mind and soul ripple through the fabric of the world. Your thoughts are not trapped in your skull. Your emotions don't stay inside your chest. They radiate, they shape, they attract. But here's the catch. The reflection is not always literal. The universe speaks in symbols, in patterns, in riddles. That's why so many miss the signs. That's why this law is so misunderstood. It requires not just seeing, but seeing through. In the next part, we'll explore the deeper paradoxes of this principle and the subtle ways it disguises itself in your life. Because once you understand how it mirrors you, you can begin to shift what's being reflected. Now let us dive deeper into the shadows where this law truly lives. Here is where most people go wrong. They assume the law of correspondence means a one-to-one reflection, that if they think good thoughts, only good things will come. But the universe is more mysterious than that. Correspondence does not mean mirror, it means resonance. The outer world reflects the vibration, the essence, not always the form. A person who fears abandonment may not be abandoned directly, but might attract people who are emotionally distant. Someone who holds unworthiness might not hear the words, "you're unworthy," but may find themselves unseen, unheard, overlooked again and again. The universe speaks in symbols. It echoes you not just through events, but through relationships, dreams, illnesses, synchronicities, even silence. To understand this law, you must learn to read these signs, not just with logic, but with intuition. This is why ancient mystics trained for years to pierce the veil. They knew the law was real, but also that it was subtle. It doesn't shout, it whispers. Another great misunderstanding is this. People believe the outer world causes their inner state, that circumstances dictate emotions. But the law of correspondence reveals the opposite. Your inner world initiates the outer. Yes, the world is reacting to you. Always, even when you are unaware of it. Even when it seems unfair, or random, or cruel. This is not blame. It is empowerment. Because if your inner reality creates outer results, then you can change everything by changing you. But beware, the ego tries to hijack this law. It says, I'll change my thoughts to get what I want. But correspondence isn't about manipulation. It's about alignment. The outer world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. So ask yourself, not, what do I wish to have, but what do I embody? What am I resonating into the field of life? In the next section, we'll bring this down to earth with practical methods to use this law consciously and reshape your reality from the inside out. So, how do you live the law of correspondence? How do you move beyond theory and begin to shift your outer world by transforming your inner? The answer is not complicated, but it requires honesty, consistency, and a willingness to look within, even when it's uncomfortable. Step 1. Observation without judgment. Begin by observing your life as if it were a message from the divine. Your relationships, your finances, your health, your daily patterns. Not as random events, but as mirrors. Ask, what is this showing me about my beliefs, my self-worth, my energy? If your world feels chaotic, where is your mind chaotic? If you feel unseen, where are you hiding from yourself? This isn't about blame. It's about decoding the message. Step 2. Inner alignment. Once you begin to see the correspondence, it's time to shift, but not by force. The outer world will only shift when your state changes, not just your words. So begin small, breathe, center, speak to yourself with kindness, meditate not to escape, but to tune your inner frequency. Write down the reality you want, not as a wish, but as if it is already true. Feel it, embody it, become it. Step 3. Sacred ritual. The ancients knew the power of ritual. Try this. Each morning, before touching your phone or speaking a word, close your eyes. Visualize your inner world glowing with light, clear, calm, powerful. Whisper the words, as within, so without, as above, so below. Let this be your spell, your anchor, your daily reminder that you are not a victim of reality. You are the cause. Step 4. Release control. This is the hardest part. The ego wants fast results, but correspondence works in alignment, not in force. You cannot fake peace and expect peace. You must become it. You cannot demand love. You must radiate it. The more you trust, the more reality begins to echo your inner state in ways that feel like magic, but are simply the law in motion. Expect challenges. Patterns may rise to be released, but see even this as correspondence. The old must surface to be cleared. Live as though the world is listening to your inner song, because it is. In the final section, we'll pull the threads together and leave you with a question that may follow you for the rest of your life. Now you see, the law of correspondence is not just an idea. It is not just a phrase written in a dusty old book. It is living truth. It moves through your breath, your thoughts, your emotions. It weaves itself into your experiences moment by moment. Not to punish, not to reward, but to reflect. Reflect what you are, what you believe, what you feel when no one is watching. As within, so without. This is not just mystical language, it is a doorway, a map, a compass. If you understand this, truly understand it, you hold the key to transformation. Because here's the secret most never realize. You don't have to change the world. You don't have to fix everyone around you. You only have to change you. And the world will mirror that shift. The people in your life will change. Your environment will shift. Opportunities will rise. Patterns will fall away. And what once felt like chaos will become clarity. But only when you dare to look within and ask, what is life showing me? What am I projecting into the field of reality? What frequency am I living from? This law does not require belief. It requires awareness. It's working whether you see it or not. But the moment you do see it, everything becomes different. So the question I leave you with is this. If your world is a mirror, what is it trying to show you right now? Pause, reflect, feel. And if this ancient truth spoke to something deep inside you, something timeless, something familiar, then share this with someone who may need the mirror too. Let them remember, because once you awaken to the law of correspondence, you never see the world the same way again. Until next time, walk wisely, see clearly, and remember, nothing is outside you. Everything is you.